Welcome back, and if you're new here, I create these videos with the purpose of giving insight or anything that resonates with you. You're not alone. This is my journey. This is what I went through. We're all people on this planet having a grand time, experiences and stuff. So this is my journey. It's unfiltered. I'm going to tell you how it is. And so if you get something from it, then that's the purpose of me creating these videos. So this is part 2 to my transition out of the military. And the last video I left off where I felt really hopeless. I was living at my parents' house and I got out of a toxic relationship and a toxic environment, and I was just laying on the couch bawling my eyes out, felt so just hopeless, didn't know what was going to happen, and felt like no one around me understood. And I was having like episodes, like hypervigilant episodes, and I would feel like I need to have protection, like a gun on me, and just pressed against me. Like that's how that night went. Like it was literally my sense of safety was having a weapon pushed against my body. And I'm very analytical of myself, and I know that could look crazy to other people. When my family saw all the shit that I was going through, they didn't understand it, and I didn't really understand it either. I didn't know what the fuck was going on with myself, and I just knew that's what I was experiencing, and I didn't know why. I didn't understand it because I was stationed in Germany. I didn't see combat or anything like that, and I ended up finding out the source of where my hypervigilance started, which was we're in Germany, woke up, and it's like a weekend or some shit. Shit's blowing up. Like I woke up to that with gunshots and stuff blowing up, which is fine. That's normal. You can sleep through that all day long. There was a siren I never heard before. Okay, so my mind was like, what the fuck is that? And my mind was like, are we under attack right now? I'm living in a whole different country. We don't have any weapons to protect ourselves. That shit's locked up. And I'm fucked. Like, that's what my mind was thinking for like 10-15 minutes. And we're all out in the hallway, like the roommates and people that live beside me and stuff were like, what's going on? Like, what is that? You know, that's very concerning. The shit hitting the fan. What's going on? Until we eventually found out. But just for that little amount of time of believing that set off all kinds of shit in my life. But anyways, that's the source of some stuff that was going on with how my story kind of started with transitioning out of the military and with things that stuck with me and finding the source of your problems or things that are going on with you or things in your mind. You have to go down the source. You can drink, you can take drugs, you can do anything you want to put a band-aid on the motherfucker, but it's still there. You can't ignore it, all right? So anyways, found mine, and I was seeking peace. I felt so much chaos, you know. I felt lowest point of my life, and I was still doing busy work, keeping my hands busy, drinking, and it was just, I was a little mess. I was a big mess, actually. And eventually I was like, something's gotta change, because I can't be operating like this. I'm exhausted and something's gotta change. So I researched a lot into plant medicine. I'm very big on like natural things, not anything like processed. Something that can help you find the solution to get to the source and fix it. Like problem solving, get to the source. And for me, I was very drawn to psychedelic mushrooms. I did a lot of research on plant medicine and all of the studies they had for like people with PTSD, anxiety, depression, and how it can help and what it does in your brain. Like I spent so much time just trying to understand something, especially that's like controversial and stuff, and people saying it's illegal and it grows out of the ground and all kind of shit. I'm like, okay, it's natural, it grows from the earth, you know, this, I feel comfortable with this. I feel drawn to it. I trust my intuition. So I got a hold of some, and I had a beautiful experience where it just felt like all the trauma and bottled up shit I had just was finally able to come off of me. Like, just, I was bawling my eyes out and crying and stuff, but it felt so good and enlightening. Like, there's no words to explain how grateful and amazing this experience was for me that changed my life. And also realizing patterns of thinking and stuff. It was like me and my soul having a conversation, or like me and my subconscious mind, whatever is going on, having a conversation with ourselves, like me and myself, going like, what do we got going on? And I felt like I could see and understand so clearly about the source of things I had going on. And just so amazing to feel that sense of peace too, and just happiness that I haven't felt in a long time since I got out of the military. And so towards the end of my trip, I was just kind of like, okay, well, what else we got going on, you know, in life, looking where we're at. And I'm sitting in my bedroom at my parents' house, and I'm like, what are we doing? You know, it was like, what are we doing, Samantha? What are we doing? And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck are we doing? We got money, time, and all this shit. Why don't we have our own place? And I was like, yeah, like, what are we doing? And so I was like, all right, we got to get a place. We got to get our own stuff. Because at that moment, it was like, you don't have a pot to piss in. You're over here doing everything for everybody else and supporting everyone else, but you're not taking care of you. What are you doing? And so I was like, yeah. And so within a couple of days, I moved to Tennessee. And this is where the fun part started for me, for realizing all kinds of shit and trying to fix it and trying to seek peace. That was my intention. And moved out there in the mountains, and it was great for me. Okay. But as far as everything I experienced in between and living there, it was tough. Okay. I went through a whole roller coaster of emotions, and my mind would not shut the hell up. I also got out of a relationship, so a lot of lies and stuff, my mind like obsesses over shit until I could figure out, or I don't understand why someone could do things to people or whatever. My mind's like, we gotta figure this out, or there's something to learn in it. So my mind was obsessing over it. And so I was dealing with hypervigilance and trying to understand all these lies and stuff that was in my head, or these illusions I had in my head, or whatever I had going on. It took a while, but it's well worth your time to focus on yourself and to figure this shit out. So I moved to Tennessee. I'm out there. I didn't work either. I was just, you know, you get a disability and compensation stuff. So I was just traveling, enjoying nature, and just taking this time, a year to myself, and just a healing period in my life. And so the hypervigilance was in high gear. I'm living by myself, and it felt like I had a war going on in my mind. And I was drinking a lot. I was trying to pack that shit down. I'm like, shut up. Like, why are you over here chattering? What the world? And I, you know, smoked weed and drank and whatever. It helped momentarily, but it can help. But as soon as it wears off, it's like you come back to reality and you're like, damn. And it's just this whole cycle, and it feeds itself, and it's not healthy. So I'm living there, And all the time, I'm like, someone's going to come through that door and I'm going to get shot, or I'm not going to be prepared for it. Someone's going to break in. And, you know, I know how it can look for, like, if a criminal or anybody looks at me, they're like, she's young and a female living by herself out there in Tennessee. Like, I'm a vulnerable, I'll put it that way. And I know I have vulnerabilities. So I'm like, if someone else sees that and they don't know what they got coming or something, they just come through the door, and, or more like, I don't know what I got coming. It's yeah, sleeping with a gun under my pillow, always near me. When I'm taking a shower, there's a gun in there. I'm fucking not safe. I don't feel safe at all. I go to sleep and I'll sit there and like obsess over someone's going to come through that door, someone's coming through that door. And every time I shut my eyes, it just seemed like someone's going to be right here in front of my face when I shut my eyes. Like, it's going to be a jump scare and I'm not going to realize it. So I try to do so many things. Like, I wouldn't like to have noise that can block out knowing that someone's coming through the door. And I could have got a little siren thing you can put on doors, so if someone opens it, it goes off. But I eventually installed one of those. That gave me some comfort and peace. And what's it called, motion camera type thing that was facing outside the door, so that helped a lot too. So if you're dealing with hypervigilance and you got that going on, kind of put in some reassurance, safety, and also pay attention to the movies and images you have going on in your mind. That's a big thing too, because when I'm shutting my eyes and I'm trying to go to sleep, all that's playing in my head, these little movies I'm seeing is, and stuff I'm thinking, is someone's coming through the door. And that's what I see in my mind all the time. And when I shut my eyes, that's what I see. And I didn't realize that's what I was playing in my head. And so that took a little bit to, I'm like, what the hell? Why am I like this? There's no reason for me to be like this. And there was, for my mind, apparently. But loud music, I would do that, and I would like hold the speaker so I can feel it and try to put myself in the present moment. That's something I was doing too. So like, I would blast music just to feel it in my body and kind of ground myself in here in my body, because I was always, someone's come through the door or some yada yada. And sleeping with a gun under my pillow always around me was like feeding the drinking, and the drinking was feeding that, and just for to get my mind to shut up. So you pay attention to the movies, your mind, you have to change them. Okay, like, you gotta be logical instead of emotional too, because it's like, what's the probability of someone coming through the door, right? And you can look up the crime in your area and everything, and just for your brain to be like, these are the statistics, and what's the probability of that actually happening? And if you also have these safety things, have a plan in place type thing, where someone comes through the door and it starts going off, you're like, okay, well, if someone does choose to, even though it's unlikely, then I'm prepared. Like, I got a plan. It's going to be okay. And try to put yourself in the present time instead of in your head thinking about what could be, what might be, and being like, okay, what's going on now? Am I safe? Is there danger? And if there's not, then it's like, where's your evidence? Do you have evidence of being in danger? Do you have evidence of someone that's currently breaking through the door or anything? It's like, be a little logical with it, and it'll help your mind. You have to like retrain your mind and your nervous system and your emotions, because your thoughts lead to your emotions, and then your emotion, it goes into an autopilot for your nervous system too. So it's like a spiraling thinking. I had a lot of that too, and it felt like I couldn't control it. And so that's something else. Focus on what you can control instead of stuff you can't control. Like, if someone's going to break in or something, they're going to do it, or whatever. It's like, I can't control someone's actions. So just let it be, let it go. Just be prepared and do the best that you can for situations like that. Because I also had that with going out in public too. That shit, I try to go to Walmart or I go anywhere, I'd be sitting in my vehicle. I'd just be looking around. I'm looking at everybody and looking to see if anybody looks sketchy, if anybody's carrying anything, or if anybody's wearing baggy clothes. Just like excessive, trying to prepare myself just to go in the store. And it was all the time. And it was exhausting. So something I tell myself is like, is it probable? Would it really happen? I know we have like mass shootings or all kinds of shit, because I think about that to this day. I'll go to the grocery store. I'm like, what if someone just randomly chooses to come in here and just shoot everybody? And I'm like, damn, would we be prepared? And I try to have a plan in my head. And it's not as intense as it used to be, because it's like focus on what we can control. And what I can control is what I do and my safety. Or if you carry a weapon or state laws and all kinds of stuff, what can you do to feel safer and to know that you got it? And if something goes off, that you trust yourself, that it's going to, your body will just do what it needs to do. Because I've had moments where gunshot went off, like at my birthday, someone decided to shoot a gun in the lake. I don't know why, but I froze, because I'm sitting there like, I don't want to react, because the probability of that happening, of someone coming to kill us or shoot somebody, doesn't make sense. So I like locked up and I was just blank stare. And I was logical with it, but my body froze. So then I was afraid, because I couldn't control that. And then I started hyperventilating, or just like having a fucking panic attack. And I'm like, this is embarrassing. I can't control my body. And what's going to happen if a loud noise goes off or something, or some shit does go down? Am I going to freeze? Or am I afraid of looking crazy or whatever? All these other thoughts. That was one of the first experiences I had where I was like, what the fuck? I don't know what's going on with me, and I couldn't control that. So, and it's my own body, so that was concerning me. And then I was traveling, and I came down here to Florida, and someone shot a gun off, and I didn't hear. I'm like in the back of my truck and shit. My body went into, it's like I lose control of my body in a sense, and I just start reacting. So that gave me a sense of like, all right, so I won't freeze, because that one was a little, I don't know, I thought it was going to be a crackhead or shit was going off, and it's in the middle of the day and stuff. Why is there a gunshot going off? And so I was immediately in the back of my truck, like trying to go get my gun and stuff, and like trying to figure out where the sound came from. And it was still like, I don't feel like I had control of my body. It's like I just turned into a robot and I was just doing shit. So, which was nice to know, because I was like, before I froze. So anyways, that was something that I was dealing with, and I still do. So it's, realizing you changed, and who cares if you're going to look crazy or something. That's better be safe than sorry. Basically, safe or sorry, or wish that you have done something. So that's where I am now with that mindset. I got a paper here. Yeah, so comparing to others that have foundations built. All right. Living in a house by myself, and I was comparing to where other people were in life, and I feel like I just get my shit together. And it's normal, you're in your 20s and stuff, but I felt like I didn't I wasn't doing good enough. Or like for my expectations and stuff of myself, it was like I felt lost, and the purpose and identity loss with the military, like I had that because my life was just like, this is my purpose and this is what I'm doing, and my identity basically of I'm in the military and this is my life. And so I didn't have that no more, and also didn't know what I wanted to do in life, and I was trying to figure shit out, and I was just trying to heal and stuff. So depression, like the anxiety and hypervigilance, I was dealing with that, and then I just got really depressed. I would drink a lot, and that feeds depression too. It's a depressant and does all kinds of stuff to your nervous system, especially heavy drinking like I was doing. And I was trying to like drink my life away, and I would try to sleep too. I slept a lot. Like I would try to sleep the day away, sleep my life away, drink it away, and I just didn't care if I was alive or not. I'm like, I'm just existing. Like this is this, and I don't know what to do. And the VA was trying to give me pharmaceuticals and stuff, and I was like, I'm not doing that. It's putting a band-aid. I want something to fix it. And I didn't know, even when talking to a therapist or anybody that they had, it just felt like it wasn't fixing it. So I was like, that's not working. And so the depression was pretty strong too, and I started getting out in nature and putting myself in better environments too, because I was just laying there like, I can't keep doing this either. I'm like, look, there's more to life than this. I'm going to get through this. I might not see that yet, but one foot in front of the other at a time. So started going to nature. I'm like, that's what I love. That's what I love to be around and do. So going to the lake, floating, like kayaking, going to see waterfalls and all kinds of shit. I got a dog eventually too, but I got a dog eventually too, but then that was the thing. He was chewing on all my shit like dogs do, but eventually I gave him to someone in a better home, and then, or more of a life than I could give him and stuff too, but that was overstimulating to me. I could barely take care of myself, and then I like got a dog. It was a whole thing. So I'm exhausted, and from the hypervigilance and trying to go out, just live day-to-day life, and I can't even go grocery shopping, and I'm depressed. I feel like I don't got shit, and I don't have anything going for me, and I just was like, I gotta start doing something. And I was talking to one of my friends, and they mentioned a passion, or how I was passionate talking about certain things that even I didn't realize like was stuff to do in my life. And I found hypnosis found me, and that's where my healing started. I want to make a separate video on that, but as far as this video, I'm gonna read my notes here. Purpose, identity loss, went through that. Exhausted, comparing, and then relationships too. Or I had a fear of looking crazy because I knew what I was doing wasn't normal. Okay, so it gave me more anxiety about being around other people, or if I went out, I always wanted to have my gun, and I just felt like, to other people or people who aren't in the military, or I don't know, I guess just a regular civilian or people my age, are like, why do you do that type thing? So I was judging myself for people judge me, which it doesn't matter. People are going to have their opinions. So I didn't care, but it was because I cared about, I knew that I didn't want to be like that. So relationships was definitely not on my mind at all, but I'm like, what's gonna happen too when I go to be with someone. And then I'm sitting here like, I would sleep on the floor on the other side of my bed type shit, scared, like being prepared so if someone came to the door, they couldn't see me and I couldn't see them, like from under the bed. Like I looked like I was traumatized or something was wrong with me, like mentally. And there was some intense stuff going on, and it wasn't like it was necessarily wrong or right with me, but it's something I was definitely struggling with. And having, even for my family, you see that, just relationships with family and spouses and anything like that, and how it looks to other people, because I already know that my family was judging me, and my sister was wanting to put me in a nut house type shit because she got to see episode that I was having for hypervigilance and stuff, and she didn't understand, and it was a whole thing. And hearing stuff that people say that would get back to me and stuff about like, well, she needs help, and I just know, like, you just know, or I can feel it when I'm around people, and that's just life, okay? So life gets better, and you gotta move through it. It's the only way to, like, if you're gonna be on this planet alive, just one day at a time, you know? And I'll make a separate video about things that help me. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up because beautiful day outside. So I hope this helped you, and if anything resonated with you, or if you have advice for other people or anything, like, leave a comment or reach out to me. I would love to hear back from your experience or anything. It's really important to have a community, or just a listening ear sometimes, or just to know that someone's going through something that you're going through currently, or someone that's went through it or something, and things that can help. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your time and for you watching this, and I'll see you on the next video.